Does everybody remember back from 2020 during the presidential debates when Joe Biden and then President Donald J. Trump were debating back and forth energy policy? That what President Trump had done was make us energy independent, and what Joe Biden wanted to do was get us more off of fossil fuel and get us in line with the Green New Deal. And do you remember the warning that Donald Trump gave America?
Expensive gasoline, remember
Vice President Biden, your response, and then we're going to have a final question for both of you.
It's going to make the gas prices go up. Well, now you have people on the left as they watch the gas prices continually rise, and some economists are saying that the majority of the United States will be at $6 plus per gallon by this summertime, which means California will be over $8 a gallon. You even have members on the left and so-called progressive media even saying, doesn't Biden care?
All right, Sagar, what are you looking at?
Well, everyone, I know it's time to talk about gas again. And I also know I've been beating this one to death. But I just cannot fathom how normalized it has become to pay astronomically high gas prices across the country with no attention from the media or the administration.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sagar, were you not paying attention to the 2020 presidential debates?
Would you close down the oil
By the way, I
industry?
would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement
That's a big
because
statement.
I would stop
Why would you do that?
because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
And here's the deal. But
That's
you
a
can't
big
do that.
statement.
Well, if you let me finish the statement, because it has to be replaced by renewable energy.
That's the biggest statement.
Okay,
Because
we have
basically
one
what he's
final
saying
question,
is he is
Mr.
going to
President.
destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you
Okay.
remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me.
Day after day after day, retail gas prices hit the all-time high. When I was writing this, the national average of price gas was $4.59 a gallon, with the western United States getting especially hammered. California gas is an average price of $6 a gallon, with prices over $5 in Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Alaska, and Hawaii. We are talking about tens of millions of Americans here who are getting hosed day after day after day. And the more data that rolls in, the more devastating effect that just the price of gas is having on the pocketbook is seen. The current price is destroying household balance sheets, with the typical household in the United States spending $4,800 a year on gas at the annualized rate. That is 70% more than just 1 year ago when they were spending $2,800. So if you do the math, that means that the gas increase alone took your stimulus check of 2021. Just gas, not to mention food, other travel costs, rent, healthcare, other fixed monthly expenditures, all of which are also increasing. That's insane. And there's genuinely no end in sight here.
No end in sight is right, Sagar, but again, we tried to explain to people like you, we tried to explain to the so-called lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media that was just so hell-bent on Orange Man bad, he gotta go. We tried to warn you that just voting against somebody because I don't like what he tweets. Policies are what affect your actual life every single day. And under President Trump, we had achieved energy independence. We didn't need foreign oil. Gas was between $1.80 and $2 a gallon. It meant more money in people's pockets. It meant the wage increases that they were receiving at that time was going further. But once we created the pandemic and the need to shut everything down, we created all types of supply chain issues. We then gave out stimulus money, funny money. We have been sending funny money over to Ukraine to the tune of $54 billion. And as a result of all of that, we now have inflation. And because of inflation, it doesn't matter if your wages go up. If inflation is exceeding your pay increase, you are at a net loss. And now the fact that gas is double and in some places 70% more than it was just 1 year ago. And nobody's buying it's because of the fight for democracy in Ukraine. The gas prices were going up as a direct result of Joe Biden's policies. He said he would end fracking. He said he was going to shut down the fossil fuel industry and we needed to get away from it. He said those things. He is making good on what he said. What are you surprised by? Fact, just 24 hours ago, in a joint press conference with the Prime Minister of Japan, Joe Biden said this.
When it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels.
And just in case you missed it, let's rewind the tape. Let's play it again.
And when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels.
This is being done on purpose, period. End of statement right there. The Biden administration is well aware of what it is costing us at the pump, and he is now no longer crouching it. He is now no longer trying to say, like a Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. He is now saying, this is a good pain. This is a pain we've got to go through so that we can be dependent of fossil fuel, which that in and of itself is a complete and total lie, canard, prevarication. It is outright fraud, deception, and a scam. Because all of the so-called renewable energy of which he is talking about is all going to require fossil fuel to produce it. The fact that we have an energy grid in this country that is dependent upon, are you ready, boys and girls? Fossil fuel. That's right, fossil fuel is what powers the computer that you are watching me on right now. Fossil fuel is needed to mine the elements that are used to produce the cell phone, the iPhone, the iPad, the whatever that you are using right now in your so-called everyday life. That technology is dependent upon anybody? Yes, fossil fuel. So fossil fuel isn't going away. But this is a cognitive effort that we're going to get to zero emissions. In other words, you're going to get an electric car whether you want it or not. Now, personally, I believe, and I don't have a problem with electric vehicles as long as it's not like, the battery-operated dump truck I got for my son when he turned 3 that, got up to, 1.3 miles per hour. I have a good friend who owns a Tesla. I have ridden in it. It's cool. I like it. And I believe that the technology, the innovation is moving in that direction. But again, market demand will bring that about. The government didn't step in to enhance what it was Alexander Graham Bell was trying to do with the telephone. They didn't say, we're going to close down the post office and force you to pick up that telephone, force you to get that phone. That's not how it works. And the idea that people who can't afford gas right now are then going to go out and plunk down $50K for a Tesla is not even realistic. Not to mention, replacing a battery can cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. You get that, right? It's not like going into your advanced auto repair and paying $75 to $150 for a battery for your fossil fueled vehicle. $5 to $10 grand to replace a battery in a Tesla. So until those costs come into line, of course, when you get a brain trust like Pete Buttigieg saying, well, the more people that buy them, that creates more demand, and the more demand, that's what lowers the prices. He really doesn't get how a capitalist economy works on any level whatsoever. telling somebody who can't afford gas to buy an electric car is like telling somebody who's homeless, just buy a house. Then you won't be out here on the street. This administration absolutely understands that it is their policies, shutting down oil leases, shutting off the XL pipeline, shutting down Keystone, not granting new licensing for new oil exploration. They understand all of that is having an effect on the everyday price of gas, and the fact that we are now, of our own supply, exporting it to places like Mexico. Why are we doing that? We're exporting it to Mexico. It lets you know everything that you need to know, that this is being done on purpose, and they do not care about the pain that it is inflicting, because they are going to make it so that you will depend on them, i.e. the government, for everything. Period. Oh, and it'll all be tied into that new digital ID that's coming, along with your health and your finances and your banking, and everything will be digital, and right down to where and how you operate a vehicle. It's all, you can call me a conspiracist, but I'm going to tell you what a conspiracy theory really is. Spoiler alert. I don't know why you're so shocked that the Biden administration doesn't feel your pain at the pump. It's like listening to some of these people talking about even libloons like Mika Brzezinski over at PMSNBC with her dillweed husband, Joe Scarborough, Mr. Magoo with his glasses. And her talking about she doesn't understand why the Biden administration isn't doing more about the baby formula crisis. We've got plenty at the border for the illegals coming in other nations where, like even Ukraine, where they are being ravaged by war right now, they have plenty of formula there. Why can't we mobilize and make that happen here? Why are you... I just watching some of these liberals feign this shock that I can't believe that this administration is this inept. You have an administration which has declared itself openly hostile to life in the womb. You really think they give a rat's backside about taking care of that life in the womb when it's 2 weeks or 2 months out of the womb? Now, that might be a little bit of hyperbole there, but think about it. Think about it. And yes, liberal policies really are this backwards and literally work against each other, causing them to repel like two positive sides of a magnet coming together. They repel each other. That's what liberal policy does. Now we're watching the media trying to talk about Biden gaffes and Biden faux pas and Biden mistakes. No, this is liberal ideology. Liberal ideology said, we got to have Green New Deal, but I got a news flash for you. Right now, our vehicles do not run on spoofle dust and unicorn pee. They run on gas. And until such a time that there are enough charging stations and the fact that the electric car can become affordable for everyone, phasing out fossil fuel now and punishing us now, because again, the vast majority of this country, not the pockets like New York City and Atlanta, Georgia, and other large metroplex area, the vast majority of this country does not have any accessibility to what we would call rapid transit or shared transit. People need their cars. But hey, it's all good, because this is a needed sacrifice. And then you love it when he says, God willing, when we come through on the other side, we won't need fossil fuel. In other words, he knows exactly what the price of gas is doing. He's no longer trying to say that it's Trump's fault. He's no longer trying to blame it on Putin. He's no longer saying that the oil companies have got, they're just being stingy with the product. He's now saying we're doing this on purpose so that when it's all over, we will be fossil fuel independent. Bull hawk. And you were warned what this inept, politically corrupt, lying criminal was going to do if he ever got in the White House and he and his radical handlers could decide on policy for this nation.
And when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels.
Of gasoline, remember
Vice
that.
President.